A drive through parts of western North Carolina quickly reveals the wounds of Tropical Storm Helene. The storm turned creeks into rivers and rivers into lakes.
Everything was underwater.
Helene gave Daily Dow the biggest fight of her life.
Trying to get out, and I kept getting stuck, and then I would go another way, and then a tree would fall, and then the water, and it was just terrifying.
Rising floodwaters trapped Dow and her children in their car for 6 hours.
There was a moment where I thought we were going to die, and so I just crawled in the back seat and held on to my babies.
Help eventually came. Helene hit at the height of the 2024 presidential election. President Donald Trump pounced, blasting the Biden administration's storm response.
Many Americans in this region felt helpless and abandoned and left behind by their government.
It's a sentiment some people in western North Carolina share. Others say the response was strong. Either way, Trump promised to do better, and in his first week as president, he visited the storm zone.
6 months in, it's a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to the response here in western North Carolina when you talk to residents, including from one person who spoke at the president's press conference, who says, yes, work has been done, but there's a lot more to do.
Mona Roper woke up to an unrecognizable neighborhood in late September.
There wasn't a bridge, and so here we were, no way to get in or out.
In January, she spoke alongside President Trump during his visit.
I totally feel like that we have been forgotten.
6 months later,
there's been more action from the Trump administration than was from the Biden administration, but still I don't feel like there's the attention and the action that should be given to the situation.
It's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride.
Esther Manheimer is the Democratic mayor of Asheville, one of the hardest hit communities. The city is recovering, but there's a ways to go. The art district next to the river was hard hit. Manheimer says the Trump administration's done a good job combating one of the biggest problems, debris removal.
We saw an incredible uptick in that activity.
And she's pleased with the attention from officials.
We've had our Homeland Secretary, Kristi Noem, visit us here on the ground. We've had the president here.
The Trump administration also approved Governor Josh Stein's housing recovery plan for western North Carolina, which led to a $1.4 billion grant. But the administration has also taken numerous actions that have concerned many local and state officials. In April, it said Washington would pay 90% of debris removal costs instead of 100%. The governor's office says that could cost the state hundreds of millions of dollars. The administration also removed AmeriCorps workers who were helping with Helene Recovery. And the president continues to call for eliminating FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, in its current form.
I think that would be a grave error. No state is capable of the scale needed to serve a community after a disaster like this.
Federal funding is also well below what the state asked for, and some local leaders say the aid approved by Congress late last year is very slow coming.
The problem was it was all getting trapped in the bureaucracy of it all.
Matthew Wechtel is the Republican chair of Madison County, the town of Marshall, about a half-hour's drive from Asheville, where we met him was swamped by the French Broad River. The town hall, police station, courthouse, and post office were severely damaged. Wechtel says they've got a list of projects that need funding, and though the response has picked up, he says it's stuck in a mess of red tape.
There's 17 steps in that program, and if at any point in that process you screwed up, they kick you back to the beginning and you start over again. That's where the frustration set in with FEMA.
FEMA is a target of the president's. Helene kicked off his criticism.
I'm pro getting rid of FEMA.
Mona Roper spent $50,000 repairing her home and has another $100 to go. She says most of the money came from nonprofits and private donations, not the federal government. While she wants the federal government to spend more for victims, she supports getting rid of the agency.
They need to take a look at organizations such as Samaritan's Purse and see how they operate. They have done an amazing job.
Daily Dow says she doesn't understand why there's so much attention on FEMA.
I have no idea. I guess it's misinformation. I can only speak on my experience.
She says FEMA put her up in a hotel after Helene and gave her $50,000 to rebuild. She's already moved back into her home.
FEMA was such a godsend for me and my neighbors. I don't know what we would have done without them. I mean, me and my kids would have been completely helpless. So, I mean, they were our savior.
Western North Carolina is by no means fully back, but from Swannanoa to Lake Lure to Asheville, it is on a road, albeit sometimes rocky, to recovery. Residents here are sure Western North Carolina will be fully back one day, no matter what the politics are. In Western North Carolina, Reuben Jones, Spectrum News 1.